For over 200 years, one material has been the unsung hero of the Industrial Revolution. Sky app scrapers and even your smartphone. It's not steel, it's not coal, it's coke, the black diamond that fuels the blast furnace. Today, we are diving into the science, history, and brutal life cycle of coke. By the end, you will understand why this material, the beating heart of modern civilization. The historic legacy of coke. In 1709, a British ironmaker named Abraham Darby did the unthinkable. He replaced charcoal with coke in his blast furnace. This was the Napoleonic Wars era. No lasers, no computers, just raw innovation. Coke was cheaper, stronger, and could handle higher temperatures. Fast forward to today's 70% of global steel still relies on coke. Think about that. The same technology that built the Eiffel Tower is still forging your Tesla's frame. Questions arises why coke? What is that unmasked property in it? So we will discuss on why has coke outlasted every alternative. Four superpowers. A structural titan. It holds up 50,000 tons of iron ore like Atlas holding the sky. The thermal beast burns at 2000 degrees centigrade plus, 2000 degrees centigrade plus, hotter than lava. And transformation we cannot imagine. This all transform into carbon monoxide, stealing oxygen from iron ore. So we can say it as a carbon donor. And by doing that, it dissolves into molten iron, turning it into steel ready hot metal. Without coke, the blast furnace collapses literally. Now let us deep dive into science of coke degradation, as we have already concluded that this is supposed to be the heart of blast furnace. Hence, we must have to preserve it very carefully. In a delicate way we have to use it, so it should not break, it should not fragile, it should restore its property till it finish its mission. Hence the science of coke degradation become a very important role. Coke doesn't die peacefully. It's torture in the blast furnace, crushed by 20-meter tall ore layers, eaten alive by CO2 in the solution loss reactions, poisoned by alkali metals like potassium, blasted by 2000 degrees centigrade raceway flame, even more than these. This is material science meets gladiator arena. Only the strongest coke survive. We can imagine this is a sort of a environment it has to sustain. Hence, coke quality comes into pictures, and coke quality as such, the make or break parameters. So, note all coke is created equal. Meet the four horsemen of coke quality, and these are mentioned in this slide. The first one is the CSR called coke strength after reaction, and for bigger furnaces, today's modern furnaces where productivity we are aiming something more than 2.5, it should maintain around 65% or your coke turns to dust in the raceway. Similarly, coke reactive index or CRI should be below 25% or CO2 gas eat it like termites. Micum 40 over 85% resistance to breakage or the burden collapses. And the most important is harmonic massage in between 40 to 50 mm. Pores keeps gas flowing. Fail this test. Once we fail any of this test, your furnace stalls, surges or explodes, breeder lift, process upset, coke rushes to the red hot coke rushes to the dust catcher, reduction of wind, termination of flow to TRTs, interruptions at end of the day, a huge banging by the management for reduction in production, and all this. Hence, let us be very careful from the coke point of view, which has been discussed in the preceding sections. Now, coming to one of the most important part, the Deadman's, that is the coke final battle. Deep in the furnace's heart lies the dead man, a ghostly pile of coke that decide if your furnace lives or dies. A healthy dead man lets hot metal and slag flow freely. A clogged one's disaster. Operators track itself with a carbon saturation test. If the dead man dirty, you will see sky high hot temperatures, slag fighting to escape like a volcanoes, tap holes plugging mid-cast. This is coke's last stand and it fights to death. So, important indexes is being shown in the slide so that operator can have a sight at glance and act accordingly. Coming to the nut coke, the unsung hero. Meat coke, little brother nut coke, just 10-30 mm in size, but it's a secret weapon for high productivity. Question rises why? It props open the cohesive zone, letting gas flow like a highway, but go over 40 kg per ton of hot metal and it floods the hearth like a clogged drain. So precision is everything, optimization is everything, and optimization, if not possible, then there is a detrimental effect. Coming to the high PCI challenges, here pushing coke to the limit is the key. In modern furnaces, injecting 200 plus kg of coal per ton of hot metal, slashing coke use is the key in meeting CO2 emission suppression as well as productivity targets. But here is the catch. Less coke means each lump suffers more abuse. At these extremes, only CSR 70% coke survive. Get this wrong and your furnace chokes on its own fumes. This is the Olympics of metallurgy. No room for weaklings. So now coming to the future, that can coke be Dethroned, hydrogen, electricity, green steel, headlines scream the end of coke. But here's the truth: hydrogen cannot yet support 50,000-ton burdens. Electric furnaces need scrap metal, and we are running out. Coke's structural role is still unmatched. The blast furnace is not dying, it's evolving. The question is, will you adapt? And hence, everything